Martinez. I am Chair for Community Growth. Thank you so much for joining. And I would like to make a call to order and introductions, starting from.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Myron Peña. I am the Committee Chair for Health, Human, and LGBTQIA+.
Hi, everybody. I said hi, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Amanda Perez, and I'm the Chair of Education, Youth, and Young Adults.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Josephine Fernandez-Byrne. I am the first Vice Chair.
Paola Martinez, Chair.
Good morning, I chair Policy, Legislation, and Immigration.
Good evening, Brenda Goodwin. I chair Senior and the Healthy Living.
Stephen Palmer's Community Coordinator, DX, CB1.
Anthony Jordan, District Manager to the Board. Madam Chair, ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder that our meeting is being broadcast live on the Bronx Community Board 1 YouTube page.
Thank you so much. So for tonight, we have a packed agenda. We have a few voting items that we will proceed with once we reach quorum. But in the interim, I would like to ask folks from the Public Safety Report, 40th Police Precinct, to come and give us their report. They are ready to do so, as well as PSA 7, Police Housing Bureau.
Okay, hello everyone. Just real quick, I just want to go over a couple of, crime stats. In the last 28 days, we've been doing relatively good with crimes. Crime is down overall 4% compared to the 28-day period last time. Also for the year, we're doing pretty well. With the warm weather, unfortunately, certain things are spiking up. People wearing jewelry, like we've been getting a couple of, chain snatches here and there. So if you're walking around, maybe, try to cover up a little bit, or don't expose your jewelry as much because, people are looking for an easy target. We've been doing relatively good with retail theft, like for stores or businesses in the area. The numbers are slowly decreasing. Our outreach, our offices that go out and do check-ins with the businesses, I guess it's working, it's helping out. If there's a crime happening like that, we automatically put out wanted photos and we try to catch those people right away. So, because of that, retail theft is slowly decreasing. I know most of you read it on the news or saw it on the news about the fire that we had on 3rd Avenue, where 3 people lost their lives, unfortunately. The person that was responsible for it was apprehended literally like 2 days after that, once we got the video and once we got the story. But again, unfortunately, 3 people lost their lives. Anybody has any questions in regards to anything?
If you have questions, please stand in the middle aisle where the microphone comes to you. One question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I called 311 this morning after midnight because she had some knuckleheads. I live in my house. He had some knuckleheads in this, saying that now music, that's bad enough, but then he talks about it fast. I called.
What location was that?
My house.
Okay.
Yeah, I get the call.
Okay.
Right here. And that's why don't you want to say, why do you act like a knucklehead after midnight? And what it goes on practically every night.
They were hanging out outside or they were in the building? Outside, okay. I'm gonna reach out to PSA 7, see if they can increase enforcement there, and we'll try to concentrate on that. Like as I said, with warmer weather, like now, especially with the Memorial Day weekend, yes, there was a lot of people hanging out, the first 2 days it was raining, the last day was relatively decent. I guess people, just decided to hang out a little longer, but I'm gonna reach out to PSA 7, we're gonna try to, do some increased patrols in that area and hopefully shut down the music and shut down the noise, all right?
Hi, I was here last month and I reported that these tractor trailers keep double parking you know, in our neighborhoods. You know, I bought a home here 25 years ago not to look at tractor trailers parked illegally. Plus, I sent photos to Pretoria, Korea of cars that are not registered, and every time the cleaning machines come by, they don't ticket them, and the police don't do anything about it, you know, and this is really frustrating. Today, there was a traffic jam, because there's a school right around the corner, and the, home for the children, also right around the corner, and nothing's done.
What specific area are you talking about?
Brook Avenue, 135th and 136th Street. I keep calling 311, giving them reports, you know, and they don't even ticket the guy, they just, you know, pass by. And I see the patrol cars passing by, do nothing.
No, I hear you, I understand your concern. After the meeting, I'm gonna, you know, have you check in with Sergeant Marks and the Q team. We're gonna look into this. We've been doing a lot of traffic enforcement. We've been reaching out and working with downtown to get tow trucks, you know, come out here and pick up all those tractor trailers and, you know, cars that don't belong on the streets. But unfortunately, there's only 1 or 2 teams in the city, and they go to random precincts at random times. We put out requests as often as we can. Unfortunately, for tractor trailers, you need a heavy-duty truck, and, you know, they're not that easy to come by. So whenever we can get hands on, we try to take as many trucks as possible. But, you know, like, as I said, we're gonna check in with you after the meeting and see what we can do to help you out, all right?
Okay, last question. I want to remind folks that eating and drinking is prohibited in this auditorium, but you can do that outside. And this will be the last question.
Yes, my question is, when you come and you tell us this is what we're doing, and where everything is going well, do you have statistics and actual numbers
Yes.
that you can share with us? Because
So-
I think more thorough information is necessary.
Yeah, no,
Can you state your name for the record?
Sure, my name is Nellie Mobley, Nelly Mobley.
So yes, I do have the numbers. Usually the numbers get printed when we do our community board meetings. But just so you know, for the year to date, you know, for argument's sake, we've been really concentrating on reducing violence. Our shooting incidents are down from 17 that we had last year down to 11 this year. So we're down like 6 shootings for the year. When it comes to, you know, robberies, we're down in robberies for the last 28-day period by 35%. So we as I said, like I'm really talking about like big crimes that really affect people. We are concentrating on major stuff. Yes, there's little things here and there, you know, like domestic incidents where you know there's maybe a fight, you know, between your spouses, you know, things like that will happen. But I'm talking about crimes on the streets. We have cops, you know, everywhere, like literally, like every corner is covered. You know, we do the best we can to prevent shootings, robberies, or major incidents. And you know, like if you want me to go into specific numbers, I can you know speak to you privately after that. All right.
If you would like to share any statistics from a certain period of time, I'm not sure whether it is 28 days or maybe, I know you have come in the past and you
Yes.
offered like year-to-year comparisons and things of that nature. If you wanted to share with the community board, we would be happy to blast those out.
Yeah, those reports actually come out on weekly basis on the NYPD's portal. So you know it's easy to take a look at. But you know, like I can definitely put something together for you guys to see. You know, like numbers for the year or numbers for for the last month. You know, since the meetings are every month, we can just go over a month at a time. But overall, as I said, we're doing the best we can to reduce the actual violence on the streets, and the numbers do show it.
Okay, thank you. I will offer one more question for the young lady.
Hi, my name is J.D. Mustin, community board member. There was, like, the roads were blocked off on, I wanna say that's like 147 in St. Anne's this morning, early morning. Are you aware of like something that happened over there, or was that like?
No, I don't know what happened this morning. I'll have to reach out and make some phone calls to find out. But as of right now, I don't have an answer for you.
Being rerouted, like we weren't allowed to go down that way at all.
Okay, I'm gonna make some calls. By the time of this meeting, I should have an answer for you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Thank you so
All right,
much.
thank you.
Okay. Okay, if anybody has a question, the officers will be available to answer any questions in the back, if you do so orderly, please. PSA 7, anybody? Okay, so we're gonna move on to elected officials reports. Those of you who are representing the elected officials, if you want to identify yourselves, I see two offices, Serrano and Elsie, and who else? Councilmember Sanchez, if you want to stand here, and Assemblywoman Amanda Septimo. Thank you so much.
So, good evening, everyone. My name is Jose Ramon Perez from the office of Senator Jose Serrano, and I am very happy to tell that we have a budget finally. So I would just say some highlights about things that concerns our community. So the state budget that delivers our community increases the funding for local schools, expands SCREE and DREE programs, expands universal pre-K, provides critical funding for the arts and cultural local and statewide, secures funding for investments in environmental conservation and protection initiatives, provides funding to increase access to green spaces, bans agreements between ICE and local law enforcement, provides funding for the East River Esplanade, increases funding for CUNY and SUNY schools, continues funding for NYCHA, public housing, and other housing assistance programs, and then increases funding for public protection efforts. We will hold constituent hours this coming month in June on the 8th at Patterson Older Adult Center. And also every Wednesday we hold constituent hours from 2 to 5 at Hunts Point Library, which is located at 877 Southern Boulevard, at the corner of Southern Boulevard and Tiffany Street. And the Patterson Older Adult Center is at 308 East 145th Street, at the corner with College Avenue. And this will take place on Monday, June the 8th, from 11 o'clock to 2 p.m. If you need anything, we can always call our office at 212-828-5829, 212-828-5829. And if you have any questions, feel free to.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So as many of you are aware, the state budget was passed late last night. If there's any notes that your office could share pertaining to initiative related to food, immigration, any housing stuff, if you could share. If there are other initiatives pertaining to this district, the NYCHA funding, if you could share some of those notes. I know everybody's frantic trying to go through those bills, and it's a lot of text.
Yeah.
But if your legislative director has summary and notes that could be shared with the community board, we would gladly have the conversation with the different chairs of the committees and would very much appreciate that. Okay, thank you.
How much is the budget?
260 million. Million or billion? Million. Billion. 260 billion. 316.
No, 268.
268 billion.
8 billion more than what you projected.
Yeah. Not that we get any of that money in our bank accounts. Just to keep the state from me. Okay, next, Gloria.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gloria Cruz. Stephanie apologizes for not being here today. In the interest of time, we had participatory budgeting. The school burger got $600,000 for brand new auditorium upgrades And PS 25, which is by 149th Street, got $400,000 for brand new bathrooms. We also have something called March Up. All our flyers are in the back if you wish to know what's happening. But the last Friday of every month, we actually get out of the office and go into the street and speak to constituents face to face to find out how we can help you and what's going on, because there's some things we can't see and we don't know if you don't tell us. We also have something called Service 8 District, where we go outside and we do painting projects, cleaning projects, picking up garbage, and also together with the community on the second Friday of every month. This June 13th at St. Mary's, we're going to have something called Family Fun Day, which is on a Saturday, which we have yearly. There's arts and crafts, inflatable music, jumbo games, obstacle courses, and more. So bring the family and please share the information with schools or anyone that you would like. Any questions or any concerns? Oh, and we're also still in the process of trying to find a new office. So we're still located at 214 St. Anne's Avenue. So we haven't found a new office yet. Any questions or any concerns? Thank you.
Yeah, don't go so fast.
Any questions or concerns? Yep. Shoot, yes, Brenda.
Good evening, how are you?
Fine, and yourself?
Has there been any kind of notification on the street names yet for those who we're waiting for?
So though that voting happens very, very soon, sometime. So I
Okay.
can't say yes or no until the voting happens, which will be sometime this month in the next stated meeting.
Will you please keep me informed of that?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gloria.
How are you doing, everybody? I'm Anthony Orlando. I'm on Councilmember Justin Sanchez's team. He's a council member for District 17. I'll keep it very brief. We are still in our office on 416 Walton. I see some familiar faces every single time I come up in front of y'all. I say, we will get our new office soon. And every single time the city council throws a wrench in that gear. So we will keep you posted about that. Aiming for something in the hub area to be a bit more central. In addition, we have on May 30th, our first ever youth council meeting. I'm happy to share more information on that. I'll send it over to Mr. Jordan, if you can share it out. Anybody age 14 to 24, we take a very, very genuine interest in what our youth have to say. The council member has gotten legislative ideas. He's gotten ideas on, hey, maybe we should put a bike rack here, that sort of stuff from the kids who are out there, every day. We want to keep them safe. We want them to have opportunities. And so in order to do that, we feel very strongly that we need to listen to them. And a final plug, it was kind of mentioned already, but 311, please, we are pushing so hard on 311. I know you make the call or you plug it in on your phone and oftentimes feel like nothing has happened. If you make a 311 request, call us or email us and give us a 311 number and we will follow up. We are utilizing that information so that we can point to the increase in needs and point out during our city budget process, hey, we are getting X number more calls this year than last year. That means we need more resources to address them. So if we can document these issues as much as possible, then not super satisfying. Later on down the road, we can argue for more resources to do so. So that's what I have. Really appreciate your time. Give us a call, stop by, and we're here to help. Thank you. Questions? Yes, ma'am.
Thanks. Hi, Jasmine Humper here. My question is, we're not necessarily related to lack of resources to addressing 311 calls, but I'm experiencing more so like calls just being completely dismissed or told like, I'm looking right now, the police department responded to the complaint and determined that police action was not necessary, but the actual issue was never addressed and is still ongoing. So that's probably more a question for them too, but how do we address like actually correcting the issue and
Sure. I'm gonna come sit next to you in a second, and we can chat specifics for your case, but generally speaking, if you call us, we can then reach out to individual agencies and help motivate folks. And if there are details that are preventing something or something in the system is getting it just checked off as, you know, we drove by and there wasn't whatever it was anymore, then we can invest the time and energy into figuring out why that is the case and hopefully find both a short-term and then a long-term solution to that. So I'm gonna come over right now. Thank you. Oh, hey, how's it going?
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Cecil Brooks?
Yes.
So I'm curious, since I know the council member is very active on the sanitation committee.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of folks here, community board members and otherwise have been active with trash pickups.
Yes.
I'm curious if you could just share a little bit about the state of sanitation and maybe some opportunities where other folks can support some of that work and align some of our forces, because that's one of the top issues, trash on the sidewalks, especially dog food. So really curious about that and what we should be thinking about.
Cool, thank you for the question. Yeah, every time the wind blows, it's like you get blasted in the face by like a rapper or something, you know what I mean? A couple of things. One, the council member did put in legislation, city legislation, that would require DSNY to respond to dog poop if they get 311 calls within X amount of time. I don't have the details right in front of me, of course. It's not the best, like obviously personal responsibility is the best solution, right? But we're taking steps to try to get some of these problems in the bud, right? So that's one. Two, very good reminder for me, thank you. We are gonna release our summer events. We're hosting a bunch of events across the district. We're partnering up with a lot of folks, including the Sanitation Foundation, which is a nonprofit arm of, a nonprofit affiliate, I should say, of DSNY. They do trash cleanups. We're gonna be hosting some of those. We'll be working with the 3rd Avenue bid, the Sobo bid, to be doing those as well. So I don't have dates or ways to sign up right in front of me now, but we're gonna make those as public as possible and get them to folks. Once everything is finalized, we just wanna make sure we have the correct information before we start knocking on doors and giving out flyers and stuff like that. Yeah, so thank you. I hope I answered your question.
Hi, over here, good morning.
Hi.
Committee Chair, Policy, Legislation, and Immigration. I wanted to know what is being done around syringe collections. Obviously you mentioned Hub, and obviously you serve the district. That's an issue we have in our parks, and it's very prevalent. And so I don't know if there can be like extra concentration done around syringe collection, and if sanitation does anything around that. It escapes me right now.
Okay, so I personally have called 311 on some syringes around our office, around the corner by Osos, and they will come and collect them. It's just the 311, you have to get super specific, and then the wind blows and they roll down the street, right, which is great. So DSNY does focus on that. And then there are nonprofit organizations as well. Can I come get your contact info and then figure out exactly who to call on that, to get like teams out to come do it. I want there to be a more systematic way of doing it, but for now, I can give you those numbers so we can call and do it kind of like piecemeal, get that surge if a specific area is needed. And then when I get your contact information, I'll follow up with you tomorrow, and we can, I can talk to the council member as well and get more info.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening. Good evening, Chair. Good evening, members of Bronx Community Board 1. My name is Diana Leonard. Hi, guys. I am the Community Engagement Specialist for the Assembly Member Amanda Septimo. Thank you for the opportunity. I left some flyers in the back. I handed some flyers to the board members with an updates and covering the activities from April and May of 2026. So we're gonna start with a brief snapshot of that. During the reporting period, there were 3,618 total 311 complaints with 2,849 closed. 769 are assigned or still open, for May closure rate of 79%. The top complaint areas were residential noise, illegal parking, street noise. From our district office, we handled 30 in-office constituent cases. Shout out to Carmen, she's amazing with the constituents. She closed 29 of those complaints. And the most common needs were labor-related issues, HRA and housing support, along with tax filing assistance. Now, looking more closely at agency performances, NYPD received 1,744 complaints. They closed 100% of those complaints. HPD received 1,214 complaints and closed 55% of those complaints. And DSNY received 150 complaints and closed 89%. Noise, illegal parking, housing conditions, sanitation, and quality of life concerns continue to be major priorities for residents in Bronx Community Board 1. Now, following up concerns raised at previous meetings, our offices continue coordinating around public safety along with Bankside Park waterfront, including lighting, dog waste harassment, and drug use. We've been working with NYC Parks, Brookfield Properties, and the 40th Precinct, community residents, businesses, and NYCHA Tenant Association presidents, our TA presidents. And we're scheduling community clean streets activities with Dogs of My Haven. We are also addressing illegal parking under the Major Deegan Expressway. These issues were flagged by residents at the My Haven Merchant Association. Our offices worked with the New York City DOT to install signage and joint operation with the NYPD to tow away abandoned cars. And to clean up the bridge, repair lighting is scheduled that's scheduled for mid-June. So now, after that operation, NYC DOT is expected to repair fencing and use a large portion of the site for DOT staging, while our offices work with DOT and community organizations to support community-driven activations when it's safe to do so. Whew, okay. Now, on Brooklyn Boulevard, it's a lot going on. So I got a lot for you guys, but everything is in these pamphlets that I left. Let me go straight to our events, because we got a lot going on. We got the Bronx Puerto Rican Parade, okay, Saturday, May 20th at 11. We got NYCHA TA Presidents, Community Leader, Business Walk and Talk, Community Safety Tour on Monday, June 8th at 9 a.m., starting at the Bronx South, Alexander Avenue. We got LGBT Legislative Breakfast, Monday, that's June 11th. We got the FIFA Watch Party, Mexico versus South Africa. That's on Monday, June 11th at 3 p.m. at Bronx Draft House. Patterson Houses, Open Street Family Day. That's on June 13th. Bronx Pride Kickoff Party, serving tea. Sunday, June 14th, another People Watch Party, Senegal versus France, okay? And that's at I-9 Bistro. On June 16th at 3 p.m., we got the Public Theater at St. Mary's Park, Know Your Rights training at the Mayor's Office. Juneteenth is Saturday, June 19th. Our offices are closed, but please pick up one of our flyers. Please, we encourage the community to feel free to come to our office. We are located at 505 Brook Avenue. Diana Leonard is my name. Once again, please feel free. I'll be walking around if you have any questions. I've taken enough of your time. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Diana. Okay, we have been joined by the Bronx Borough President, Vanessa L. Gibson. Thank you so much. You may take the microphone.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. First, let me thank Lincoln Hospital for hosting us once again.
and our monthly meeting of Bronx Community Board 1. Thank you to our district manager, Anthony Jordan, to our chairperson, Paola Martinez, and all of the members of the executive team, our committee chairs, and all the members of Community Board 1 and the public, and my colleagues in government, and all of our representatives, and all of our CBOs. There is so much going on, but I will not talk about everything that's going on. But let me just say that it's always an honor to be with our community board leaders. We represent 12 community boards here in this borough, and now we are in the process of reappointments for 1 and 2 year terms. Everyone reapplied for another term to serve on their respective community boards, and we are in the process of notifying each of the leaderships of all of our 12 boards of the reappointments, and we're also going through new applications too. We got almost 400 new applications of interested members of our borough that want to join one of 12 boards. We do not have 400 vacancies, so it is going to take my team and I a little bit of time to go through every application. We do interview each applicant. We also work in partnership with all of the 9 members of the city council delegation here in the borough. So we do a lot to make sure that we always bring the brightest and most talented and creative members to join our boards. And we also pay particular attention to the applicants that bring diversity when it comes to where they live, the geographical diversity, professions. So we really try to look at nurses, social workers, educators, leaders, people that live in public housing, veterans, people with disabilities, the LGBTQ community. We always try to recognize veterans, homeowners, tenants, co-op, shareholders, business leaders, and we really try across the board. So stay tuned for that. We will make sure that the appointments are made in the month of June so that they can all start officially in September. We're going to host a community board appreciation event that we always do every year. It's usually at Split Rock. We have a big barbecue, we call it a carnival. And this year we're going to do something a little different. Every year at the appreciation, we always honor committee chairs. So we've honored Health and Human Services, Land Use, Housing, Healthcare, Parks. This year we are paying very close attention to attendance. Attendance when we show up for our mandatory meetings. And we have a lot of members of our board that are at 100% attendance. They have shown up every time. And then we also are recognizing 90%, 80, 70. So it's really, to me, to incentivize our members of the board to say thank you for showing up, because it matters when you make that commitment to serve. It is with the understanding that you will show up. And so I am so grateful to the members of Community Board 1. Thank you for your work, for your service, and really all the partnerships. Health and Human Services, Lincoln Hospital, a lot of great partners, Guns Down, Life Up, so many of our CBOs. I just came from Housing Solutions of New York, right down on 149th Street, HSNY with Dr. X and Councilmember Justin Sanchez, and we opened a new community health pantry right directly opposite MCNY, and it is going to be a food pantry coupled with healthcare, mental health services for the residents of our borough. Food insecurity is a big priority, and no family, no child in this borough should ever go to bed hungry. That is an injustice, and anything we can do working with healthcare partners, CBOs, and community organizations to bring more food choices, healthy food choices, is a priority that we all have. So I quickly want to acknowledge and say thank you to Community Board 1 and all of my elected colleagues and everyone for the partnership of Bronx Week 2026. It was amazing, it was a lot, and it was really 2 weeks, 17 days to be exact. And we started at Storyland, which is our borough's first and only book haven, right? Not to be confused with the library, but it's a book haven and it's a book lounge. And Sulma Absu-Brown, the executive director, hosted us for our press conference, and we talked about 2 weeks of activating the Bronx, highlighting the people, the places that make this borough the beautiful place that it is to live and work and raise our families and do business. And part of that is partnerships. So what was different this year compared to prior years was it was more expansive, it was more inclusive. Bronx Week was not always activated across the borough. And I wanted everyone to feel good about Bronx Week, because only the connected people knew about Bronx Week. And that simply was not fair, and that's not the direction that I wanted to take Bronx Week as I begin this second term. So part of that conversation was working with the business improvement districts, the colleges and universities, all the elected officials. Everyone said, Ms. Gibson, don't cancel. What can we do? And I said, great, this is what you can do. And so if you looked at 2 weeks, we had a soapbox derby where we had young people competing in a soapbox competition in District 11 and all over the borough. And usually the winners are District 11 and District 7 here in the South Bronx. And each winner of each district, the schools will compete in a national competition in Ohio in July. Our babies, that's amazing. We had a read along with the school districts in Storyland across the borough. We worked with this author named Kayla Arthur, and she wrote a book for her daughter called Luna Loves the Bronx. And we had 50 schools read Luna Loves the Bronx on this particular Monday. We had a veterans celebration, so shout out to every veteran and military family. I see you, Gene Edwards. We had a wonderful luncheon in the Northeast Bronx. We recognized Memorial Day. We went to all the American Legions. We have now produced a veterans resource guide that is on the website, and we have a booklet as well, because we can never do enough to support veterans and military families. And I believe in that. I have an advisory council. I also have veteran services every Tuesday in my office from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., but you can always get assistance. And I want to do more to support veterans. Like, my uncle is a Vietnam War veteran, so this is very personal to me. And we have a number of legions and AMVETS, Black Vets for Social Justice, Metro Vets, so many organizations that are doing great work. And on June 16th, we are having Female Veterans Day at the James J. Peters VA Hospital, because we have to make sure we big up our female veterans. That's a big deal for me. Part of our work is a partnership with the Department of Labor. Very proud of this. You all see we host a lot of job and career fairs because we are very committed to lifting up our families with jobs. Not just any job, but a sustainable job. A sustainable job that has a pathway to a career and the middle class. I refuse to accept poverty wages in this borough. That is how we keep communities poor. That's not acceptable. So we work with employers that are inclusive, because we have populations in this borough that are often left out of the job market. People with disabilities, highest unemployment rate, veterans that come home that want to return to the workforce, the LGBTQIA+ community, often left out. People who are formerly incarcerated, not acceptable. So next Thursday on June 4th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Bronx Borough Hall, super excited. This is probably my best one yet. It is a youth job fair, youth between 16 and 24. Now, if anyone shows up and they're over 24, we won't turn them away, but I'm just saying that we're focusing on youth. We're focusing on disconnected youth, youth that are unemployed, that may be overage, under credit, that could be in the middle of education and need a job, college kids that are home for the summer, right, living with mom and dad and need a job for the summer. So we're also trying to capture seasonal employment, right? And we're also looking at a lot of our young people, folks, that may not get SYEP this summer. We have over 150,000 applicants, but only 100,000 slots. So what happens to those 50,000 youth if they don't get picked up in Compass, Sonic, Beacon, Cornerstone programs, summer camp, anything that's seasonal? They don't have a job. And so part of this is activating young people's skills and giving them opportunities. So I'm excited to join with Councilmember Althea Stevens, who chairs the Youth Committee and the Bronx Delegation, next Thursday, June 4th. And we have a lot of events in June. It's also Pride Month. So we're also going to work with DT, Destination Tomorrow, and elected officials on a number of events. We also are recognizing Caribbean Heritage Month, that's important, the diversity. It is also the season of graduations. Oh, wow. I'm excited. Graduating class of 2026. Our babies are getting promoted and they are graduating. That is a big deal. That should be on News 12 every day, and not all the violence and negativity that we see. So part of this is storytelling, telling the story of our borough, the resilience and the strength, and what we do every day that is often unseen and not always recognized. But I see you in your developments at your homeowner association meetings, civic groups. I see the work you do. And the South Bronx is the perfect place to do it. Part of this work is healthcare, working with Lincoln, working with Cristina Contreras here, the Bronx Asthma Center, that we know is necessary in the South Bronx. And I appreciate the mayor's acknowledgement of the need for an asthma center, but I want an actual center. I want a center just like East Harlem, working with the electeds there. I love the school-based programs, and that's great. But what happens when school is closed for the summer? Where do those programs go? If that is not a summer school site, it's not open for the summer, where do those programs go? So that's why I'm asking South Bronx Unite and so many of our advocates to stand with us as we call on this administration to give us a Bronx asthma center, right? So thank you. Let me just close by saying that if any of you ever need anything from our office, you want to partner, our district manager reached out about a resource fair that we're going to partner with you on in, I believe, the next few weeks. And I love that because there's nothing more we can do than to share information, right? It is access, it is opportunity, and it is outreach. We have to stay in the streets. The warm weather is here and people are outside. So guess where we need to be? Outside. Michael Brady, you know, the work we're doing down in the South Bronx and Mott Haven, the work that Deborah's doing at Mott Haven, so many parts of this borough, from Patterson to Millbrook, Mott Haven, Melrose, all of our public housing developments. We're doing great things, but imagine what more we could do if we had the budget, right? So I just saw an article in the Daily News yesterday, and I want to recognize Councilmember Elsie Encarnacion and Councilmember Justin Sanchez, because I need all of you to fight for more parks staff, for PAC officers and parks associates, because our parks are heavily used during the summer. And I get it. Yes, we're doing all this great work for World Cup and FIFA, but I want these resources, whether there's a World Cup or not, right? That part. We need the PEP officers. We don't have enough. NYPD does great work, the 4.0, the 4.1, PSA 7, but it's not their job to monitor our parks. And parks simply cannot do it by themselves. So I have been trying in my capital budget for FY27 to do as much as I can with my capital. I wish it applied to expense, but it does not. It's only capital. So I am giving Lincoln Hospital $2 million. I am supporting the Hearts Community Center, which I'm very excited about. I've already allocated $1 million for that project. And I love that this community has taken an empty, vacant building and turned it into something purposeful. Thank you. Thank you. Because imagine if you didn't do it, it would have lied vacant for the next 50 years. And it combines art, culture, and education, jobs, health and wellness, physical fitness. That's what this community needs, right? It's not like we're asking for anything that we don't deserve. We are asking for things that are long overdue. And it is time for everyone to step up. And I say that proudly as your elected official, that I need to step up too and do some more. And so the school programs in District 7, District 75, we're giving them money for hydroponic gardens, technology, smart boards, learning labs. We're doing all of that. I want to see more. This is great of what we're doing. But when we have young people as young as 12 engaging in violence, riding on top of subway cars, that is a problem. And I take that very personal. I have to reach out to these families, the fires, fire education and fire safety. I acknowledge what Community Board 1 has done. We had a fire in a firehouse. Would you believe that? In the last few weeks? And I'm going to help them rebuild that firehouse. I am supporting NYPD where I can with cameras because I know that's important. Now that we are 2 bureaus in the Bronx, we are Bronx North and Bronx South. I want to make sure I support both of our leaders and the cops that we're getting, but also the detectives and the investigators and the civilians, right? I have to make sure I take care of Orchard Beach because Orchard Beach, the new pavilion has now been complete. That's a big deal. Beautiful beach. And yes, we want to make sure people are safe while they're on the beach. Our summer concerts are coming back, so I'm very excited about that. And thankfully, we are going back home to Orchard Beach. So we are starting the second Sunday of July, all the way to Labor Day. Every Sunday, we'll be there at the main stage area from 1 to 5. Roll up, we're there. And guess what, folks? The best price in the world, free $99. Free. So thank you, Anthony, Paola, and to all the members. I know I'm very passionate. You know I live this work every day. And I just want to say thank you. Many of you have reached out to me about a lot of the quality of life issues when it comes to sanitation and trash and noise and pollution and so many things. And I do believe a town hall is necessary. Maybe we don't want to call it a town hall. Let's call it a community conversation, right? And let's just bring our agencies together, because part of my work as borough president is to work with these agencies, but I can tell you it is frustrating. I get pictures, I get tagged everywhere of something happening, and it's negligence. It is negligence, and we deserve better. We should not wait for a corner basket to be overwhelmed with garbage and trash before it's addressed. And I know that many of you are frustrated, and I feel that frustration with you, because it's not just happening in Community Board 1, it's happening in many parts of the borough. And I see it myself, and I address it as much as I can. I'm giving sanitation money for cameras to put to curb illegal dumping. I'm giving parks camera money to put in our rec centers and in the parks. You wouldn't believe what people dump in parks. It is unacceptable. So I'm doing my best. The culturals, the zoo, the botanical garden, the museum. We are looking forward to opening the hip hop museum in the fall. We're activating spaces, right, with the summer block parties and the new initiatives like soccer. We all love soccer now. It's great. I love it. And things that we can do. I did share on my social media, the mayor did announce earlier today a website that he is activating for all New Yorkers to access rec center youth programs throughout the city. You type in your address and zip code, and it will bring up all the programs in your immediate neighborhood. We want children to have choices. I don't want young people to be involved in teen takeovers, which means hundreds of them cascade in a park and no one is doing anything. I want that energy to be channeled to something positive. So if it's Saturday Night Lights, NYPD Options, SYEP, any of the other programs that are funded by the city, we need to make sure that all of you have access to that. So you in turn share that with your neighbors, your TA leaders, your residents, because we want young people to be safe this summer. No one should be a victim of gun violence in this community, and many of them are. I went to the funeral earlier this week of the mom that lost 3 kids, 3 in a fire in this borough. My heart is broken for her. I have been to many funerals, but to see 3 caskets next to each other of a 1-year-old and 2 6-year-olds is heartbreaking. I will never forget that image. And I will work with mom as much as I can until she no longer wants to see me. But fires are happening, closing the door, doing everything we can to install smoke alarms, carbon monoxide detectors. Please do everything that we can to save our community, to protect our people. The final thing, also on Thursday, June 4th, the same day as our youth job fair, Anthony, we're going to have a press conference, and we're going to bring Guns Down, Life Up, BRAG, SOS, RTG, New York City Crisis Management System, a lot of our activists and credible messengers, the district attorney and electeds. We're going to come together and we're going to talk about our plan for the summer, because June is National Gun Violence Awareness Month. So I do want to activate that and lift up families across this community that have been affected by gun violence. Everyone knows someone affected by violence, by trauma in some way. So I acknowledge that pain. I acknowledge that we still have work to do. So if you need me, I'm here. Kenny Augusto from our Community Boards unit is here. There are 2 other community board meetings tonight and 2 precinct councils, fun stuff. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for all the work you do. Please, please stay encouraged. I know it's hard. We don't have all the money we need. We don't have the budgets that we deserve, but please don't give up. Our children and our babies need us. And if you ever need a reason to know why your work is so important, look at the beauty of our children and take this personal like I do. When a child doesn't have something of substance, I take that personal. And that means we have not done right. So thank you, Community Board 1. May God bless you and keep you. And I look forward to seeing you. And congratulations to the class of 2026. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Madam Board President, for that comprehensive update.
Yeah, sure. I'll take
So
questions.
If you have questions, if you have time for one or two questions.
Sure.
I also had a question. If you could share some of your highlights pertaining to any state or city budget initiatives that you're looking forward to that would benefit the Bronx. We were just chatting earlier about the passage of the state budget, but also regarding the congestion pricing funds that will be targeting pollution in the Bronx. We'd love to hear your comments or thoughts on those.
Okay, sure. So the budget was passed by the state electeds, and of course I have to acknowledge my state elected officials. I have been a member of the assembly for a time, and I remember late budgets, and these members did not get paid. So I'm grateful. They passed the budget around midnight. So shout out to our assemblywoman, Amanda Septimo, our Senator Luis Sepulveda, and Marco Serrano, Gustavo Rivera, Jamal Bailey, Natalia Fernandez, all the members who worked closely with the speaker and the majority leader. Yes, so we're assessing the budget, and part of the budget I know is definitely going to be related to public safety. We were able to get $3 million last year from the governor, focused on a West Bronx community safety initiative. It's really being spearheaded by Councilmember Pierina Sanchez, and so it's going to focus on the west side of the borough. It is a collaboration with CBOs, organizations, credible messengers, not-for-profits, anti-gun violence organizations, and it's real money. And I think the governor understands the importance of focusing on preventative measures and not reactionary ones, right? Because we tend to react after and not do the work before, especially when there are signs of something happening in a community. Most of the violence that we have experienced and are seeing is something that is driven by personal, by intimate partner violence, by domestic violence, by conflicts. It's usually something. I always say there's a reason for everything. In addition, I know that they passed the super speeder law, which is very important because we have too many reckless drivers in this city. And I think it sends a message when you have a certain number of speeding tickets on your record that you will now have to install a mechanism in your vehicle that will not allow you to go above a certain speed. And I think for the families that have lost someone to traffic violence, that's very personal. And so I know that that is important to many in our borough and here in the district. The city budget, I'm probably more familiar with since I have a direct role working with the council. And I am also a part of the budget by virtue of the Capitol. We've met with the mayor's team on priorities, and the congestion pricing revenue that we were promised is between 120 million and 150 million. That was a commitment that was made before congestion pricing was implemented. And now that it has been implemented and is underway, there's even more revenue than was initially projected. So what I've been doing, you know me, if they told us a number, I'm aiming higher. Part of that is the Bronx Asthma Center. That's a $20 million commitment. I don't think it's enough. I think we need more. Part of it is also looking at the Cross Bronx Expressway and many of the advocates that have been focused on capping the Cross Bronx, which is a very big deal. It's been led by Bronx River Alliance, YMPJ, and many other organizations. And the MTA promised that we would electrify our city buses. It's a citywide initiative, but the Bronx would be first. And as I understand, there are some hitches to electrifying the city buses. So I do have to get another update from our New York City Transit president on that, but that was another commitment besides the asthma center. There also was a commitment to New York City public schools to supply many of our schools that have been impacted by highways and pollution and air quality and high asthma rates, we would get a commitment of air purifiers in each school. New York City Public Schools is leading that effort, and I need to find out what the process is to notify them of the schools that are in that queue to be considered. And then there's some other little money that's left over, a couple of million, I think it's 6 million, that's not designated. So we've been talking to the administration about what we can do with that. But if you have ideas, CD1, please send them to us. This money is capital, right? I want to, make sure you understand that. I don't believe it's expense, which means it can't pay for a program, so it's capital, infrastructure. So I would love your ideas on how you would want to spend that. And, even if it's 6 million, we're going to aim for more than that, you know me. But I want to thank you for that question, because the congestion pricing conversation started years ago in the state, and it was something that we ultimately had to deal with, even though there was litigation and lots of things. But at the end of it, the Bronx should benefit from the harm that's been done to us, as well as just the years of disinvestment across our borough as it relates to the Cross Bronx Expressway.
Thank you, Madam Borough President. We also would like to be part of any conversations pertaining to fires, legislation, and any work that's been done for your office.
Absolutely. We can do a joint fire education and safety forum. We can do home installations. I think the biggest parts of why we're seeing a lot of fires is our infrastructure is old. We have some of the oldest buildings in this city, and unfortunately, we have a handful of negligent landlords. That's just the reality. And sometimes when you look at where the fires are happening and who the landlord is, it's usually the same landlord. So what the city is now starting to do more aggressively is going after negligent landlords. And I have to support that. There are many good landlords, many good property owners. They do their job, they pay their taxes, they do renovations. They don't even get the support they need. We don't do enough to take care of small homeowners and property owners. Small landlords that have 10 units versus 1,000 is a big difference. But yet the city treats them the same. That should not happen. So we have to do more on the government side to support the small landlords, the small owners. We have to do more to protect HDFCs, which are co-ops. Insurance rates are out of control. And a lot of our co-ops have been hit with insurance premiums that they cannot afford. They have to raise the maintenance that the shareholders can't afford. And it creates a revolving, sometimes domino effect, where people are behind in their maintenance. That is a big, big issue. But HPD, I do commend the mayor. I've had 2 press conferences with him. One on 919 Prospect. The landlord is Seth Miller. We're going after him for several $1 million in litigation. And the other are 2 landlords that own Robert Fulton Terrace and Fordham Towers. And in that case, HPD has gone after the landlords and frozen their accounts. And we are calling in a chief mediation officer that is going to do the immediate repairs on the ground now with the funds that we are recouping. Because the reality is people just want basic services. And I understand, just like there are negligent landlords, there are some negligent tenants too, and I get it. And the mindset of just not paying your rent. Whatever amount your rent is, you have to pay it. But there are a lot of families that can't pay it. And I understand that, and that's why we have subsidies and other programs to help make up that difference. But in some cases, in many cases, it's not enough and families are not eligible. So I would love to talk more. Fire safety is a big deal for me. We're also trying to look, Anthony and Paola, at a pilot program that would provide some level of insurance for renters. So it's being led through emergency management. We already had a meeting and we're trying to see what that looks like to build it out. And of course, citywide, but we're going to start the pilot in the Bronx. And let me quickly say too, to Elsie and to Justin, they are fighting for the 5th firefighter in all of our firehouses. That is a big deal. You talk about response times. We have to get response times down. If there's an emergency and a fire in your apartment, you need FDNY on the scene in minutes, right? 2-3 minutes, not 10. If we had a 5th firefighter at all of our fire engines, it would make a big difference. We had a 5th firefighter during the Bloomberg administration. And guess what?
they cut it, and it never was restored. So we have an opportunity now. The mayor knows it's important. I've been writing letters all over the place because out of the city, I think the Bronx has the most fires. So when we get this funding, I'm asking for it to come to the Bronx first.
Thank you so much, Madam Board President. I wanted to commend your office for the work that you're doing pertaining to the renters insurance. That is a great idea. And any money that we could recoup from negligent landlords that could support homeownership initiatives in the Bronx would be great. There's some very interesting homeownership initiatives throughout the Bronx, in Soundview, for example. And we would welcome those in the South Bronx as well, because I don't think that homeowners would be burning their homes. So thank you so much for all the work that you're doing. And if you have time for one or two questions.
Sure.
Okay, so we have Cecil first.
Hey, Ms. Gibson, how are you?
Hi, Cecil. Yes, how are you?
Good. So to follow on the chairwoman's comments, I would also like to show some love for Split Rock. As you know, I have a long history with the Barcel Fund Action in our green spaces, transportation networks, and we don't have enough third spaces and use of our open spaces in the Bronx. So the barbecue appreciation party for community board members last year, where our wonderful chairwoman got honored, that was a wonderful tradition that a lot of people really appreciated, and it takes a certain level of creativity and humility to put that on. So I really appreciated being with Paola and seeing one of our own get honored, so thank you for that. And also the other thing, just as someone who has worked with some of the committees to put on public programming, including cleanups, there seems to be a little bit of I guess, more clarity for a wish list on some of the processes for improvements and from one year to the next. I think, I heard that my community board term is like in jeopardy, and I've heard different things from the borough president's office with excused medical absences. But if there's one thing, just sharing a wish list from some members who aren't on the board anymore, and something that actually affected me when I had a colon infection earlier this year, just trying to maybe see the bylaws or maybe get a briefing as part of the orientation, because a lot of us put in a lot of hours. My parents, a lot of us love to share the amazing work that's going on. So that's one piece of love and one wish list to share.
Okay, great. Yes. We are always, as an administration, the community board unit, we're always trying to find more opportunities to offer training to support members of the board. So we've been asked to identify Robert Rules of Order, how you conduct meetings so that people understand. A lot of the new members that are joining these boards every year do not have that CB experience. So they come into the boards and don't have that knowledge, and there has to be that period of transition. So we do the orientation in late August for new members and start in September. We also have agencies, Department of City Planning. We have COIT, the Conflicts of Interest Board. We have our office, our Planning and Development Unit, so that you understand, what is a ULURP? What does that mean? What is land use? What is density? What is R7, RC8? Like, what does all that mean? So we do that, but we also want to do bylaws training too, because some of these bylaws I have seen on the books need serious TLC, but it's because sometimes each of the boards doesn't always have that internal space where leaders can step up and offer the training. So we're happy to do that and offer it, again, free $99. So a part of the training that we do in August is the agencies, and it just talks like basic, but then we'll do the parliamentarian training, the bylaw training, the Robert Rules of Order. So those we usually do offline, and we let all the members know. We send it out to leadership so that folks can be a part of it. Of course, we don't mandate it. I do want to make sure that people are able to attend, but of course, I get it. And a part of the attendance requirement is just something that is important to us and to the leadership. We want to make sure that you show up. And we've tried to give guidance to each board on how to maintain committees. Each board has different committees. No community board should have a number of committees that are just too much. because then you expect people to show up and it's extremely hard. Then we have an attendance problem. So we've tried to help with community boards that need that support in combining and condensing boards. Every topic is important, but every topic does not need its own committee. Okay, makes sense, thanks.
Thank you so much, Madam Board President. You couldn't have provided more clarification. So now that we have quorum, we would like to move forward
Oh, great,
with the rest
we
of
have
the
quorum,
items of
and
the
I love
agenda.
Split Rock.
Thank you so much. So we will officially move forward with the items on the agenda, and we want to thank every elected official's office that has provided updates, and of course, to our Madam Borough President. May you continue the good fight and be blessed every day. The borough
Thank you, you
needs
too. Thank you, everyone. Be blessed. I'll see you all soon. I do apologize, Madam Chair. I do have to run to a wake. I'm so sorry. Assemblyman Jordan Wright from Harlem, his mom transitioned. That's the wife of Keith Wright, the former assemblyman in Harlem. So I do gotta go to Harlem really quick. I know, it's a lot. Pray for people. Thank you.
Thank you. Stephen, can we proceed with roll call, please?
Yes. Paola Martinez. Deborah Viles. Gandhi Ambrose. Robert Barnes. Jadine Buxton. Cecil Brooks Jr. Stephanie Calzado. Carolyn Chamorro. Reyes Claudio. Christina Culver. Audrey De Jesus. Jacqueline De Jesus. Naisha Diaby. Edwin Diaz. Josephine Fernandez Byrne.
Present.
Brenda Goodwin, which I saw she's here. Andres Madrigal.
Present.
Okay. Delerny Namorin. Argelia Ortiz. Marilyn Pena. Freddie Perez Jr. Amanda Perez. Rosa Pinero. Joyce Popis. Patricia Simpson. Cesar Yuck. Christine Licata. Madam Chair, we have quorum.
Thank you. Now we'll move to the approval of the agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I, Deborah Moore, make a motion to approve the agenda.
Seconded by Mr. Ambrose. Any discussion on that motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the April 2026 full board meeting and May 2026 committee meetings. May I have a motion? Yes.
Diana Leonard is not from Senator Serrano's office, she's from a Assembly member of the Senator.
Okay, so we are correcting. So any motion to accept both minutes with the corrections stated? Do I have a motion? To accept the minutes. Any second? Mr. Ambrose, second. Any discussion? All in favor? Say aye. Opposed? None, the motion carries. Now we're into public session. We have one person for public session. Mr. Herman Francis, you have 3 minutes on the clock.
Yes,
Somebody,
greetings, everyone. I went down to Grace Mansion Tuesday night just to see for myself what this protest is about here today. Because somebody's gonna be sitting in that chair making a decision on one issue only, quality life due to policy will sit in that chair. And this mess I hear on attacking the mayor of the city of New York. But when you study the history of New York City, everybody who's been a mayor have been attacked in some way, fashion, or form. So I walked through the park around Grace Mansion. And yes, it's a public park. Because I remember when Chuck Schumer before he became U.S. Senator, that a protest against David Dinkins when he was mayor. on Sunday, shut down the FDR. This goes straight to the state committee today about housing. Bronx County has enough vacant apartments to take every homeless person in there. They still have space there, so why is that? Because the county, the town that lives outside New York City, give all their homeless people one-way tickets straight to New York City for the simple fact that New York City is the only city in the United States where it's mandated that anybody who is homeless is entitled to shelter.
Thank you so much. We appreciate those comments. And we can check in at the end of the
Well,
meeting.
I ain't finished yet. Stay in 3 minutes. Because due to the simple fact that this is not all. We got plenty of space in Bronx County to build houses. Based on the presentation you made more than
Mr.
30
Francis,
years
I
ago.
apologize. You do have 1 minute and a half. I'm just trying to make the connection with what you're saying.
A presentation made in Bronx more than 30 years ago from this mayor's office, how they're gonna build 90,000 apartments along the border from Yankee Stadium to Hunts Point. Well, as soon as the word affordable housing came up, seemed like we having jumped affordable for homes. My one question, very simple. If just half those apartments have one child, how many schools are they gonna put there? I'm still waiting for the answer. Let's go straight to the fact. I watched them build Concourse Village. You got Amtrak that rail. They won't put houses on Boston area. They could build a house on top of that railroad tracks going straight through there instead of doing what? Why? This homeless situation seems to affect only the cities. Once you leave the city, people live in their own homes. That's equity right there. And solutions can be getting in place. We made a presentation more than 40 years ago on what to do. Because the city wants to get out of night. It's up to tenants what they're going to do. Solutions right there when you're ready for it.
Thank you, Mr. Francis.
Okay, now we're gonna move on to voting items. Robert, do you wanna?
Good evening, Robert Barnes, Chair of the Committee on License. We have two voting items from the License and Permits Committee. One is Jackson Bronx Corp. doing business as Mexican Casino, 503 Jackson Avenue, AKA 500 Trinity Avenue, Bronx, New York, 10455. Is a renewal license 034022112579. And we have a new application, Paul Bronx Wine Bar LLC, 63 Brockton Boulevard, Bronx, New York, 10454. Those are the two licenses that came before the committee, Madam Chair, and the committee approved them to be deemed incorrect. Anybody want to make a motion to approve these two?
I, Lori Moore, make a motion to approve, Jackson Bronx, Mexico and Poor Bronx Wine Bar's liquor license. Second.
Second by Ms. Byrne. All in favor? Discussion on the motion? No discussion? All in favor say aye, please. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion is passed. The next item for vote is the bylaws, the vice chair amendment.
Okay, so in the last meeting, we made a few updates to our bylaws that were unanimously approved, but we forgot to include an important update, so this was an omission, something that the committee had already worked on pertaining to the ability of community board members, general members, to serve as vice chairs. And also, I'm gonna read the amendment that we had recommended. So, okay, so section 3 of the bylaws, the full board chair shall designate an appointed board member as committee chair for each standing committee. Upon request of the full board chairperson, a duly appointed standing committee chair can make recommendation to the full board chair to appoint a public or full board member to serve as vice committee chair. The committee vice chair can act as acting committee chair and serve as presiding officer in the absence of the committee chair at a regular scheduled committee meeting. Standing committees can be composed of full board appointed members and public members. And I'll give clarification. So our bylaws would only accept for an appointed member to be, for a general member of community board to be appointed as vice chair for a committee, but now we want to make it more inclusive so that full board members and public members both can serve as vice chairs. And the reason why we want to make these changes because we have very talented individuals that are appointed members that want to serve as vice chairs in the absence of this appointed member for a committee. So we wanted to have that flexibility that will significantly help us improve the quality of the work that each committee is doing and provide the necessary support to the chair of a particular committee. And we have notable examples of people who have stepped up to assuming this role. So that's the nature, that is the reason why we want to make this change. And I think we're ready to make that one. We'll have to wait for the next executive session to propose further changes pertaining to internal aspects of the board. But if no one, I would like for us to vote on that proposition, and I think we discussed it a month ago, so nothing changed there. Just the only reason is that this didn't make it to our notes in the previous meeting.
Can someone make a motion to accept the bylaws that would allow a vice chair amendment?
I, Amanda, make a motion to move forward with section 3 and the changes.
Second to that motion? Mr. Ambrose, second. Discussion on the motion? I just want to add to what Ms. Martinez said that before we instituted this new change in the bylaws, we had about 11 committees and we brought those committees down. And some of the committees that we combined together already had their own chairs, and this would give that person the opportunity to be vice chair. For example, in the Municipal Services Committee was joined with environmental. So that would give someone maybe from the environmental area to be vice chair and chair the meetings when that subject was part of that committee meeting. So that was one of our reasonings as well. Okay, having said that, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Anyone against? Ms. Goodwin against. Any abstentions? Okay, motion passes.
Thank you so much. And speaking of committees, so our dear Danny Barber, he's not going to continue to chair the Public Housing Committee, given his various responsibilities with Mancha. We had a conversation, and we're gonna be making a few updates in that committee. It's a very important work, and we want to make sure that we're working with all of you and with the current members of the Public Housing Committee to make sure that there is a chair, there is a vice chair, and the work that they carry on their committee charge continues to get done. So in the next few days, we're gonna be searching for the new leadership, and some people within that committee will be stepping up to more responsibilities. And of course, we're gonna continue working with Danny Barber as we look forward to organizing a public housing symposium. He continues to represent NYCHA, not only throughout the Bronx, but in other areas of the city. So there will be new updates on that end.
Committee reports. Okay. The packets, all the committee reports are in your packet. Anybody want to specifically say something, Ms. Delarney? Yes.
I just want to know two things that on June 18th, because it's not on the calendar, is the Know Your Rights immigration training that will be virtual. I do believe a flyer may be
Yes.
in the folder, but I know there's a lot of flyers in these folders and people don't check them. So I want to make sure that people know there's going to be a Know Your Rights immigration training. It's going to be completely virtual, and I hope to see people there. And second thing is that, building on what Paola said, our chair, policy and legislation will be having a joint meeting with public housing / supportive housing in the month of June. So we can be very proactive about advocating around public housing and meeting with a lot of the tenant leaders. And so in regards to not only NYCHA developments, which community board has many, but also supportive housing and shelters, which we also serve a lot in this district.
Thank you.
Amanda?
Yes. Hi, everybody. So mark your calendars because on June 6th, the Education and Young Adults Committee is gonna continue with the book exchange with the Third Avenue bid. And so we're excited about that. We're also gonna be partnering with a sorority who's gonna be doing a GOTV. So we'll be getting civically engaged, getting, the young people civically engaged, so we're excited about that. And then we added just a little something different to the housing committee. We are now going to have like a public hearing session. And that is to ensure that we have like a safe space for the young adults. If they want to share anything, instead of coming to a general board meeting, they can actually come to the committee meeting and talk about that. And we want to just let everybody know that this committee is open for the young people, for the youth, and we want to get more attendance. So put out the word out there. We are going to be vision casting at our next meeting, which is, I want to say, the next meeting is June 10th. And we're going to be setting our priorities. Our vice chair is Andres, who's over there. Say hi. But we don't want to set priorities without the youth at the table with us. And so spread the word, let them know what we got going on. And hopefully the district manager can ensure we have some snacks.
Yes. Mr. Andres is wearing two hats because he's also collaborating with organizing the immigration town hall, as he was the learning vice chair, was it? No?
They're both great events though, don't miss them.
We have the learning and Amanda fight. Just joking.
Good evening, my name is Ms. Goodwin. I am the chair of the Senior Committee and Aging Committee for Community Board 1. And I'm here to implore each and every one of you, if you know a senior or someone who's aging who needs any kind of assistance, to come to us. We meet once a month, but we're open to you calling us and asking us for help anytime. During the month of June, we will be having the Department of Aging at the board. We will also be having accessoride. If anybody is here or knows somebody who has had problems with accessoride, we need to know that. Please call the office and we will address it. Numerous people are having problems getting to their doctor's appointments, whatever appointments, because the accessoride is not showing up or they're showing up late. Please, we put the word out, but people must come forth with this information. Also, I wanted to bring up, I've been on this board a number of years, And I wanted to let people know the issue when the captain was speaking. The 40th Precinct Council meets every month. And that's something that we should be on, we should be supporting. There is numerous agencies in this district that meet on a monthly basis. You need to come to the community board, find out what they are, and get involved. We need you, they need you as well. Once a month is not enough. This district needs a lot of help. And the only way we're gonna be able to do this is together. I go to those precinct council meetings, they're very informative, and those officers are there to help. You have community officers here as well. We have to do this, I particularly do it for the aging, the people in our district, okay? Because you can see that our district is being flooded with a lot of stuff that we do not need. Okay, so I just want to implore everybody to get involved in that way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, hi, my name is Marna Peña, I'm the Committee Chair for Health, Human, and LGBTQIA. I'm going to express the same concerns. I would like for everyone to do outreach. If anybody wants to attend any of my meetings, it is the third Wednesday of every month. The last month is June, so it's June 17th. I do have an upcoming health fair coming up. It is in the folders, it's a beautiful flyer. And we have an upcoming event, June 14th. It is called Serving Tea, it is J Silva Events. Please spread the word out, it is NYC Pride.
Thank you. That's it for the committee reports. Now, moving on to, what's that, something? Okay.
Good evening. I just wanted to emphasize on something. My name is Gandhi Ambrose, Chair of Municipal Services. One thing that I think we always forget is that we are responsible to our community in terms of reporting what is wrong. As the summer comes, we're going to spend more time outside. And the key here is for us to call 311. As you walk around, there is an app also on the phone that I use a lot. Every time I walk around and see garbage on the corner of a pole that has not been picked up, I just hit that app, take a picture, and send it in. Believe it or not, it's been working for me. Every time I come back again, the garbage has been picked up. So I think we should learn to not just be complaining, be part of the solution, be proactive. One of the things that I noticed I say South Bronx because that's our home, is that we have a tendency of thinking that government is somebody else. We are the government. We are the eyes of the government the same way the NYPD depend on us to call them to report the problem. As this summer comes, let's make an effort, so every single one of us make an effort, even just weekly, to call 311 once to report the problem. Because as the chair of municipal services, we have noticed that we bring the commissioner to the board to discuss issues. Come to find out we don't complain. So it's not at a meeting that we're going to tell them all what we want, but they need government run on numbers, statistics. So if we can try to make an effort to call 311 report issue within our community, I think that can make a great change. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to draw your attention to the flyer that speaks to the ULERT process for Exterior Street and 138th Street. It's called the Padded Wagon Project. This next Tuesday, June 16th, at the Economic Development, Land Use and Housing Zoning Committee meeting, they will present. Okay, and there will be a tentative public hearing at the general board meeting Thursday, June 25th. For those of you who don't know about this project, it's going to be on Exterior Street between Bruckner Boulevard and 138th Street, and 138th Street between Walnut Avenue and Exterior Street. So those are the two opportunities you have to come and speak about it. Thank you.
It's very important that the community shows up to events like this, because this is one of the most effective ways that we have to actually provide input to projects, large-scale projects that, are gonna be developed here in our neighborhood. And I believe this is about 300 units of housing. It's, I actually used to live not too far from there, so that landscape is going to completely, 537, that landscape is going to completely change. And then again, there's gonna be various opportunities there, and I feel like very often people are not prepared to tap into those opportunities, whether it is opportunities to apply for that housing or to develop certain businesses. And I have other opinions, but please come to the meeting, come to the economic development meeting, and let's make sure that we are learning about what is going to take place and that we can provide our input. This is the most important process. Then when it comes to the final vote, there's not much that we can provide input. And I think that this board, to the best of our ability, we've been doing the best we can to make sure that the community benefit agreements are respected and that our voices are being heard. Because many of these projects have actually been on the pipeline for quite so long. Right? So we have to be paying attention every step of the way.
Do we have any old business? Any new business? Yes.
There is something.
State your name, please.
JD Boston, community board member. Going back to I guess it's not really old business, but a couple of y'all already touched on that about how the boards are run and committee and attendance issue and stuff like that. It's already been brought up a couple of times, but I think it's really important to ask for feedback on the members that are standing and that do attend on how they feel their roles are or how the meetings are being run. Because personally, there was a committee meeting that happened earlier this month that I was very disgusted with how it was run. I feel it's important to just be respectful of your colleagues. We're all here voluntarily, and I feel people's experience and the opinions that they bring to the table or the opportunities that they bring should be respected when they want to speak on it. And I just feel I haven't been seeing that as a board member. I'm not sure if that's how it's run, but I think that there's a lot of structural issues, and then also some things are not being called out on as far as how to treat committee members sometimes, or just get them on the floor to speak without cutting them off, without the eye rolls, without anything else, just allowing them to be the member that they were elected for. So I just wanted to make that a point because that's something that I was aware of.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for voicing your concern. I think that voicing your concern in public like this, you feel comfortable doing that. Other folks might not feel that comfortable sharing their concerns if they attend a public meeting or a committee meeting and they observe that things can be improved. So perhaps a recommendation for the district manager, if we could set up some type of email address where people can share. Even though you're sharing an email, that's not anonymous, right? We will know, but if there's a way to collect that feedback as to how, people can share on ways and ideas to improve things. I also feel that, you New Yorkers can get a lot away with the eye roll, but definitely there are structural things that can be changed and can be improved. I think that's part of the work that some of our chairs for the committees and the new vice chairs are looking forward to implementing, how to run things more effectively. In my own personal experience, I think that whenever you interact with government, you expect the lowest quality of service, right? For many reasons. I'm speaking for myself, but I'm pretty sure that other people have had that experience where they go to a government office and they're things are not as efficient as they should be. And this is a government institution. This is actually your community office. The first interaction with government that you have is a community board, right there in your community. So our responsibility whenever we're running these meetings is to make sure that things are effective. When you come into our office, we have to make sure that you get the best possible service, right? Despite of all of the drama and all of the things that, of course, people can get agitated and people can be very vocal, but we have to make sure that the staff, the committee members are being respectful, and also in our interactions with the public that you are treated with the respect that you deserve. So I apologize if you felt, disrespected, and I give you my word that we're gonna look into it and we're gonna make sure that we are doing everything possible to improve, okay?
Okay, we have one. Sorry, just a quick, this is kind of like a question for the entire board. In terms of what efforts are being made to improve communications digitally in terms of maybe updating the website and having it be a little bit more resourceful for constituents. I feel like unless I come to these meetings in person, all of these great events and programs that are taking place, I have to physically have a flyer attached for them. And even just as someone that's prospective looking to join the board, to reach all of you, your emails aren't even listed on the website. So just trying to understand how can we, like I look at the website for NCB7 or NCB8, it's a lot of information there, the recordings from all the meetings. I know staffing is short, but that's where maybe community members can help give suggestions and resources, but just understanding what efforts are being made to improve technology and communications for the board.
Yeah, and I will have Anthony to provide context and also feedback on that. I can tell you that community boards rarely get a salary line for communications. So we've had in the past a couple of community members that have taken on that responsibility. One person was Sonji Lopez. She was just amazing. She went out on maternity leave. And then the other person that we had, Stephanie Calzado, she's been very resourceful, making sure that we're posting on Facebook, on Instagram. She also took on a leave. So it's been a little bit short staff on that end, but definitely making improvements. And we have some social media outlets that are more, that we populate more than others. For example, with the Instagram, there's been some good improvements there. The feedback with regards to having emails on our website is very well taken, so we appreciate that. We have to check some guidelines, but I know some community boards might have them, others might not have them, because there's not like a standard protocol internally, but we're always looking for ways to make improvements on that end. And I think that the district manager can give some good news on communication stuff.
Sure, so thank you, Chair. And this to build on what the Chair has been saying, that for emails, the city only provides one additional email besides the general email box for the community board. Board members under the rules do not have individual email addresses that relate to the city because of security issues. As far as the technology, thank you for that question, Ms. Humphrey. Last year, former council member Rafael Salamanca, before he exited office, made a substantial contribution to increase security and technology improvements for the community board. So it is a priority for us. It is capital funds, and if anyone who understands how to be able to access capital funds, it is not as easy as it is to use expense funds, but it is a priority that the leadership of our office, along with the board members, are working on with the consultant to be able to make sure we have the best information that relates to websites to make it very interactive, past this to social media. So to answer your question very directly, it is a priority for us, and we hope to have launched a new website along with other technology improvements at the end of the summer. I hope I answered your question.
You have a passion for communication.
Well, there's apparently $6 million that.
Please volunteer. Okay.
62.
The last question from this gentleman, please introduce yourself.
I just want to make a comment. How you doing, everyone? My name's Cortland Hankins. I'm a duly positioned here because I'm a resident of Community Board 1, but I'm also part of the Community Board family. I work in Bronx Community Board 3. So I don't get a lot of opportunity to come here because I'm doing so much in Bronx District 3. As my counterpart and former colleague at the Borough President's Office, Stephen can attest to, but I want to say kudos to Bronx Community Board 1, to Chair Martinez, the staff, and District Manager Anthony Jordan, and Stephen Palmers, and the committee. You guys run a really, really good meeting. Great information, great vibration, very informative. I have to say, it's still close second to Bronx Community Board 3. We may bring back, I may bring back some pointers, to your counterpart, Mr. Lloyd Brown, and District Manager Edward, but great job tonight.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Again. None. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for coming.